you?
Caitlin, I just want to personally congratulate you on being named captain for the 20.
The better part of 2 years, maybe even 3 years, the mainstream media has been trying to convince us that Angel Reese is a huge star.
The WNBA tried to sell a story of two queens destined to rule a new era, but the fans have officially dethroned one of them, while Caitlin Clark is preparing to captain the All-Star team after receiving over 1 million votes. Angel Reese found herself not even in the top 10. This wasn't just a snub, it was a public referendum that exposed the massive gap between fame and talent and shattered the illusion of a rivalry that was never really equal to begin with. The debate that the media desperately wanted to manufacture is over, and it turns out it wasn't even close. This is the story of how one of the biggest names in women's basketball became a cautionary tale about the difference between college success and professional excellence.
Angel Reese, I'm sorry, ma'am. What makes you think that you deserve to be in the top 10 in the whole WNBA in voting? Don't you know you got to compete with Plum, Collier, Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, who else? Caitlin Clark, who is ranked 4th in the WNBA. She's ranked 4th. You are ranked 25th.
So lads, Caitlin Clark led the WNBA in All-Star voting. Obviously led the WNBA in All-Star voting. Like, I don't think anyone is shocked by that. If somebody is surprised by Caitlin Clark leading the WNBA in All-Star voting, you've been living under a rock. It's obvious. She was always going to lead.
When Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA, the league pushed a narrative of two titans destined to battle for the soul of women's basketball. Their legendary NCAA championship showdown, where Reese's LSU Tigers triumphed over Clark's Iowa Hawkeyes, was supposed to be the opening chapter of a decade-long war. The media crowned them as co-equals, the twin pillars who would carry the WNBA to new heights. Reese had the championship ring, the swagger, and the Bayou Barbie persona that was made for prime time. Clark had the limitless range, the record-breaking stats, and a gravitational pull that warped entire defenses. For a moment, it seemed plausible. The narrative was perfect, the dominant physical forward versus the revolutionary sharpshooting guard. But behind the highlight reels and sold-out arenas, a troubling pattern was emerging for one of them, a pattern that suggested the foundation of her stardom was built on sand.
Bit of an up and down season for her, relatively speaking, because she's been in and out of the lineup. Collier did miss a few games with a back issue as well. And of course, Clark had the shooting slump before she went out with the latest injury. Don't know how much that was related or is related, but Clark's impact on the floor is apparent when you see her there and when you see her off, and her numbers are still awesome. Not to mention, she's by far the most popular player in the league, and this is decided by fan voting. And
while Clark was breaking records and rewriting the definition of what a point guard could be, Angel Reese was quietly regressing. The dominant force from college seemed to have lost a step against the bigger, faster, and smarter competition of the pros. Her scoring dropped from 13.6 points to a modest 11.7. Her rebounding, her signature skill, dipped from 13.1 to 12.3. Most alarmingly, her efficiency, a key indicator of a player's true value, cratered to a dismal 39.1% from the field. For a 6'3" forward who makes her living in the paint, that number isn't just bad, it's a liability. To make matters worse, her turnovers nearly doubled, skyrocketing from 2.2 per game to 3.9. This wasn't a slump, it was a statistical freefall, signaling a player who was struggling mightily with the speed and strategy of the professional game. This decline gave birth to a brutal nickname that would come to define her season, MeiBounds, a term mocking her tendency to grab her own rebounds only because she repeatedly misses easy layups at the rim.
Whoever came up with the MeiBounds thing, y'all ate that up, because rebounds, MeiBounds, rebounds, keybounds, T-bounds, T-bound, anything that comes off that board, it's mine. It's mine. And a brand, that's 6 figures right there. Whoever came up with that, the trolling, I love when y'all do it, because like the ideas be good. Like when y'all have to alter my face and shit because I'm cute. All right, whatever. Like, that doesn't get me. But like, when y'all came up with MeiBounds, because statistically, all the rebounds that I get aren't always just mine. They're like the defenses too, or somebody else on my team. But when y'all came up with MeiBounds, y'all ate one little thing. Janine, we're ranking. We're gonna work with that.
The MeiBounds phenomenon became a viral critique because it perfectly encapsulated her on-court struggles. Fans and analysts began sharing clips of Reese driving to the basket, only to throw up a wild contested shot that clanked off the rim. She would often use her size to secure the offensive rebound against smaller players, only to miss the follow-up shot. It became a punchline rather than a point of pride, a stat padding exercise that didn't actually help her team win. Instead of being a sign of her relentless motor, her high rebound numbers were becoming an indictment of her inability to finish plays. Even Reese herself had to acknowledge the term, stating, "Whoever came up with the MeiBounds thing, y'all ate that up." But what happened next revealed a fatal flaw in Reese's approach to her career, a decision so baffling it cemented the growing belief that her priorities were completely out of order.
So Angel Reese came out and had a 12 rebound, 4-point, 2 assist game in the absence of Caitlin Clark tonight. Angel, they're not coming for you. They're coming to watch the prodigal son or daughter, Caitlin Clark.
Because to be 6'3", she should be more dominant than what she is. Clearly, she don't be in the gym enough, because she should be stronger than what she is. They be handling Angel Reese, and she want to be crying and talking about they ain't passing her the ball. I wonder why they not passing you the ball, because you're not good enough. And then the Chicago Sky, know what I'm saying, viewership, it only reaches like 1-point-something million. But check this out. The highest was when they played against the Indiana.
Instead of dedicating her summer to refining her post moves, developing a reliable jump shot, or improving her footwork, Reese leaned into the criticism. In a move that left the basketball world stunned, she filed to trademark the term MeiBounds. She decided to monetize the very thing that exposed her as one of the most inefficient high-volume players in the league. While legends like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant famously used criticism as fuel to spend countless hours in the gym, Angel Reese used it to create a potential merchandise line. It was a moment of profound miscalculation, a clear signal that the brand of Angel Reese had become more important than the performance of Angel Reese. It was turning your biggest weakness into a business opportunity, perhaps the most damning indictment of all for a professional athlete. This single act seemed to confirm what many were beginning to suspect. She was more interested in playing the game of celebrity than the game of basketball.
You know, in the past when I said things like Angel Reese is not a good basketball player, I think I spoke too soon. At this point, I've come to realize that Angel Reese, the self-appointed most important player in the WNBA, is not a bad player. She may be the worst player, at least whose name we actually know, right?
The most damning evidence against Reese, however, wasn't coming from critics online. It was coming from her own team's performance. The Chicago Sky, a team that had invested its future in her by making her a top draft pick, was languishing with a pathetic 5-11 record. They had hired a new championship caliber coach in Tyler Marsh and surrounded her with talent, expecting to become a rising power in the East. Instead, they were stuck in the conference basement. The coaching staff seemed to be at a loss, trying everything to make her effective. They moved her to different positions, attempted to develop her into a point forward, and even had her work on her three-point shooting. But it was like teaching a fish to climb a tree. You can call it versatility, but when your star player is shooting 39% from the field and can't finish at the rim, no amount of positional changes can fix fundamental basketball deficiencies.
I'm saying rebounds, crebounds, MeiBounds, brick ups, pray ups, whatever the case may be. And it's crazy because to be 6'3", she should be more dominant than what she is. Clearly, she don't be in the gym enough because she should be stronger than what she is. They be handling Angel Reese, and she want to be crying and talking about they ain't passing her the ball. I wonder why they not passing you the ball, because you're not good enough. And then the Chicago Sky, know what I'm saying, viewership, it only reaches like 1 point something.
The breaking point came during one of the Sky's rare victories. In a game where teammate Camila Cardozo was having a career night with 23 points, Reese was benched during the most critical moments of the game. She was forced to watch from the sidelines as her team actually played better and secured a win without her on the floor. The message from the coaching staff was loud and clear. To make matters worse, Cardoso, the rookie center, was quietly emerging as the player everyone expected Reese to be. Cardoso was efficient, played smart defense, and impacted winning in ways that didn't always show up in a box score. A quiet civil war was brewing in Chicago, where the team's supposed superstar was being outplayed by her rookie teammate and was becoming a liability in crunch time. Even the team's front office couldn't hide their disappointment, with the general manager publicly stating that the team simply needs more from Ree. When your own front office questions your production, you know you're in trouble.
Cause everybody's trying to make this about a, come on, black man, protect the sisters, brother. This ain't racial. This is about sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry, based on her range and the three, plus everything else she does. And then you look at Angel Reese. Stop it.
I ain't gonna lie, this bitch so trash. Y'all gotta understand, she gets so many rebounds because she missed the layup 50 times before even getting fouled for real. You got sports bettors making thousands and thousands of dollars on her missing her first shot. Like, how you that tall and close to the rim and you can't even make one layup game? They pay your ass way too much money for this shit. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark got this bitch playing like Steph Curry. She missed so much, they gave her her own slogan. They call her as MeiBounds. I'ma miss the layup, I'ma get it rebound, and I'ma miss the layup.
Then came the All-Star vote, and the public delivered its final brutal verdict. This wasn't just a fan poll. The voting is a combination of fan, player, and media ballots, making it a comprehensive measure of a player's standing in the league. Caitlin Clark, even after missing games with an injury, pulled in a staggering 193,526 fan votes, leading all players. The message was undeniable. Angel Reese, on the other hand, couldn't even break the top 10, landing at a distant 13th place with just 173,363 votes. Fans, her fellow players, and the media all delivered the same clear message. Angel Reese is not one of the elite players in this league. The manufactured rivalry was officially dead, exposed as a one-sided affair where one player was a supernova and the other was struggling to stay in orbit. The snub wasn't just about popularity, it was a referendum on performance.
We need to get better. Obviously, we've had up and down games, but we're all-stars. And we're going to continue to prove it. Obviously, this is the last week for All-Star voting. Camila, she should be All-Stars her first year. She could have got it last year with injury, but she should be an All-Star this year. I think we've had up and down games, obviously, but being consistent and coming out every night. I mean, obviously, you don't put up 27 on nothing, like, against anybody. She's been consistent. Obviously, she's going away, but that doesn't take away what she's done. So, her, me, Ariel, I know we belong to All-Star. Thank you.
You're crying on the podium about how people hate you, and then you want to get in videos like this and say, I love the trolling. Pick a side. What side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the villain side that you don't care about trolling, or do you want to be on the victim side crying about how people hate you and how your crown is heavy? What is it? You're so fake, bro. This is why we don't like you, man.
This whole saga exposes the two fundamentally different paths these athletes have chosen. Their responses to adversity and criticism tell the entire story. When faced with the intense physicality of the WNBA, Caitlin Clark responded by getting in the gym, improving her conditioning, and refining her decision-making to better handle defensive pressure. When critics attacked her shooting slumps, she responded by breaking records for assists, proving she could impact the game in multiple ways. Angel Reese's response to criticism has been to engage in social media warfare, create merchandise around her flaws, and cultivate a persona that seems to oscillate wildly between victim and villain. One day she's at a press conference, emotional about the hate she receives and how heavy her crown is. The next, she's on social media boasting about how much she loves the trolling. This inconsistency has made her appear inauthentic to many, a performer playing a role rather than an athlete focused on her craft. One path leads to becoming an all-star captain, the other leads to watching the game from home. In the end, the court doesn't lie, and neither do the voting results. The WNBA desperately wanted a rivalry between two equals to drive ratings and interest, but reality has a way of asserting itself. You can build a brand, create drama, and generate headlines, but you can't fake your way to basketball greatness. Caitlin Clark has established herself as not just the face of women's basketball, but as a generational talent who elevates her entire league. Angel Reese, meanwhile, is at a dangerous crossroads. She has become a cautionary tale about what happens when hype, drama, and branding are prioritized over fundamental skill. Her fall from all-star in her rookie year to an afterthought in her second serves as a stark reminder that in professional sports, performance ultimately trumps everything else. The question is no longer if she is Caitlin Clark's equal. The only question left is, can Angel Reese swallow her pride, get in the gym, and reinvent herself to save her career, or will she forever be remembered as a superstar who simply peaked in college?